Everyone, hope you all are doing fine. So I am back after 3-4 months long break, and before going to break I had uploaded all the core Java concepts which are going to be used for automation, and it is there on my YouTube channel. If you have not gone through any Java topics, so you can go through it, and those are the only concepts which are required going forward, to learn automation or to learn any kind of automation. So like, be it mobile or be it web based or be it desktop based, you need those concepts. You don't need like advanced Java, you just need core Java, and all the core Java has been uploaded on my channel. So now, and from like now on, I'm gonna start with Selenium. So I'm just gonna start with very first, Selenium. Let me open the course content, which I'm gonna take it over here. So Selenium 4, we are gonna learn here Selenium 4. So these are the course content, like Selenium 4, we are going to learn Selenium history, difference in Selenium 1 and 2 architecture, difference in Selenium 2 and 3 architecture, so on 3 and 4. And 4 is the latest version which we are going to study, because everybody wants the latest version. Nobody wants to, go with the last version. And there are some in like company in the industry who are still using Selenium 3, but most of the people are going for Selenium 4, since it has removed all the challenges which were getting faced in Selenium 3, and it has enhanced also. So going forward in the course, we'll see those. Then getting started with Selenium 4, here we'll be learning how do you add jars manually, downloading and configuring Maven, adding Selenium 4 via dependencies, WebDriver manager, working with different browser. And then Selenium 4 new features, like we have got some new relative locators such as above, below, left off, right off, near. These are the new relative locators which has been added in only Selenium 4. It's not there in Selenium 3, and these are some of the new features like CDP, handling basic authentication, and then there are some basics and advanced topic which we are going to cover, like how do you find XPath, and what are the drivers, and how do you import WebDriver documentations, and then HTML languages, how do you take out the attributes, and what all the important things that we have to, like how do you inspect different browsers, and then WebDriver interface, WebDriver, web element interface. So these things we are gonna cover in this session, I mean in the entire course. And then we are gonna learn a little more, like extent report, JDBC, POI API, log4j, Java mail API, properties file, and Selenium grid, Dockers. Okay, these are the things that we are gonna cover. And once like we are gonna cover these things, I'll make sure that you guys will be able to work on any automation tool. It's not just like you're gonna work for Selenium. We are going to learn Selenium. Like, these are the only common things which gets used across all the automation frameworks. So like extent report, JDBC, POI API. So these are the common things which we should know. And then some will do one live project. With the live project, you will understand that how we are gonna work on, like some frameworks, we are gonna see data driven framework, so we'll see. Okay, so let me get started. So let me open a notepad. So here we are gonna learn, like why we are taking up Selenium over here first. Why Selenium? Why not any other tool? So there are three more reasons which I find, like, for this. So first is high job demand. If you go to market and if you take out any requirements for testing, there you will find they are asking about, if you have experience in Selenium, like, we are ready to welcome you for the interview. And then they take the interview, and if you clear that interview, you have been hired. So most like high job demand course. Okay, and then Second, it's absolutely free of cost. Okay. And then third, it's only and only applicable for web browsers. Okay. So these are the three things where I feel that why you need to learn Selenium. Now, there are other tools as well in the market. Okay, before you start with, so other tools you will be hearing of QTP, you know, UFT, RFT, you know, and so these are all like other, but these are paid tools. You will need to spend some money in order to, you know, use these tools. Without license you cannot use these tools, whereas in Selenium it's absolutely free of cost. Now let's quickly jump to what is Selenium. What is Selenium? So like we'll say it's an open source test automation framework. Okay, so it's an open source test automation framework, or it's an API or a jar file, and it's not a tool. Remember this, it's not a tool. Okay, it's a test automation framework. Simple as that. Now we got one word, that is open source. You will be hearing this mostly, like, you know, whenever you learn something like open source, open source. So what do you mean by open source? Open source means it's absolutely free to use without any license. You don't need any license. Okay, the product is open source. It means anyone can contribute in this project. Open source. Everybody is welcome if you know how to proceed this in this. So it's an open source. Open source means you don't need any license to use that product. Okay. Now Selenium supports, you know, multi-language. What are those languages it supports? It supports Java, it supports Python, it supports Ruby, it supports your C hash, it supports PHP, and etc. So in all these languages you will get a jar file. You know, we'll see that what we are saying jar file. Okay, we'll see about this, but you will get all the jar files in all these languages, and you can, you know, use programmatically in all the languages if you want to use Selenium. Now it supports Selenium supports multiple web browsers as well. Multiple web browsers. What are the web browser? It supports Chrome, it supports your Firefox, and then it supports your Edge, and you know, IE, etc. We can say. Now it supports multi-platform as well. It supports multiple platform as well. It's very basic, I know, but you need to know this before you start the course. You know, that's the thing. So it supports Windows, it supports Linux, it supports Mac, it supports Solaris, etc. These are the OS it's gonna support. You know, so that's the thing about Selenium. Now again, so what exactly is Selenium then? So as we discussed above, that it's an open source test automation framework, and you cannot install Selenium because Selenium is not a .exe file. You can install .exe file only after clicking on the .exe file, like double click, next, and you can install the software. But Selenium does not come with .exe. It's a jar file, you know. So that is the only Selenium. So with Selenium, you can only automate websites. Okay, you cannot automate desktop based app, you cannot automate mobile based app, you can only automate, you know, websites. Now you will say, okay, if it just automates website, then why it is so much popular in the industry? I mean, when there are like mobile based apps, there are like desktop based apps, and then there are APIs, and then there are like database, and then there are like websites. So Selenium is used here only, guys. Just see, and it is not used in all this above. Then why it is so much in demand? Because right now most of the things you can see right now most of the products are website based. Everything is not on mobile, everything is not on desktop based app, because there are n number of websites in the world. You cannot put n number of websites in the mobile, in the form of app, because like in your mobile also you can see you are having like maybe like 60, or if you are a huge like memory mobile guy, so you will be having hundreds of app. But do you think hundred of products are only in the market? No, there are n number of countless. So for all those things you can work on Selenium. So that's why it is most demanding, course in the market, and the most demanding technology in the market for the automation. So this is one of the more reason for why. Okay, so that is like that is the thing that why Selenium is required. Now there are various components of Selenium. We should learn about various components of Selenium. So various components of Selenium. So before learning to various components of Selenium, I would say we should learn first different version of Selenium. Different version of Selenium. So what are the different version? Different version is Selenium 1.0, Selenium 2.0, Selenium 3.0, and then Selenium 4.0. These are the different versions, guys. Okay, these are the different versions which are there in the market. Okay, now in this different version we have different components. So let me note down those things. So what I want to show you here, that in Selenium 1.0 we have IDE, we have RC, and we have grid 1. In Selenium 2 we have ID, RC, and grid 2 here we have, and one more thing we have here is Webdrivers. Okay, now in Selenium 3.0 we have IDE. Now RC got deprecated in this version, there is no RC, and then we have here is your Webdriver. Okay, Webdriver. And in Selenium 4 we have IDE, WebDriver, and Grid. Okay, and so if we have Selenium 3.0, I mean same component in Selenium 4.0 also same component, then what is the difference? So it is it is different architecture wise in Selenium 3 and Selenium 4. It is different architecture wise. Okay, architecture wise it is different, guys. So let me get started with first component is your IDE. Now what is IDE? So IDE is a record and play feature. Okay, record and play feature.